Alright, Outer Texas fam, we're out here today. We've been doing a bunch of work in the background, and it's been kind of a scramble before the cold weather sets in here. One of the big projects we've been doing, besides crushing after we got done with crushing, is we want to get all the rear ends sorted out. Get them up on racks, that sort of deal. So when the snow hits, then we don't have so much, parts buried in snow. It makes it easier to find. It just, this area was kind of such a pain in the butt because you'd had to move so much stuff to get to one of the rear ends. So it's easier to pull one out of a vehicle than it was to get one that was already pulled, as crazy as that is. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some more setting rear ends and onto racks, or the pipes in the stands like we've been doing. And I know I don't got enough stands to do this, but we're going to put the next section in and see how it goes, and then we'll go from there.
My end or down the line?
You forward. This way.
Okay. What does that mean? That's not right.
More.
That means these two gotta go in too. More?
All of you.
Okay, this is bullshit. What are you?
That's good right there. It's lined up with the other aisle.
How do you know?
They're just about all in a straight line at this
They're
point.
like-
All the way that way. Now go take a step way
I bet
back.
I bet these are gonna need to come out more.
Oh, they do. They do. Straight.
He says they do. Okay, this is like punishment. This is like the shit John does.
What you talking about?
He's like, let's do it 3 more
Oh,
times.
hell no. Okay, that's good.
Titch more, titch.
Look at that.
let's
That's the
count
way
them
to go.
What was all that? Just practice?
No, let's practice.
Alright guys, as you can see, we've got a lot done here. We've set a bunch of rear ends. I don't know, probably, let's see, I don't know, let me see how many's on each rack here. So there's 20 on each on average, I would say. So we set probably 35 rear ends on the new racks here. And it's about lunchtime, so we're gonna take lunch, but we've got a few of the ones that, like that one's got a leaf spring on it. This one has all the coil springs hanging onto it. We kind of set them off to the side for a second. And then you can see that the second row, we've got it cleaned up enough that we can get it in. We still have a bunch more rear ends that we cut out during crushing that we're gonna have to pack down there and set them on. But I'm pretty confident we have enough room in this next row that we'll get it. And hopefully we have enough room to clear out this row and then these rear ends. There's a few more rear ends that are off to the side over that way. So it's been quite a bit of work so far this morning, but we got a lot done for the time we've got spent. We'll have to go out and dig out some more drill pipe, find some more wheel stands. There's plenty throughout the yard. It's just a matter of rounding them up, and then we'll build new ones to replace them with. Other than that, I think we're gonna go have lunch and we'll be back. So
I'd rather measure them before we pull them and pick them, because I'm not doing
well, you got this one right here that you get your hand on.
There's
It's good.
2 of them all welded here.
That, I don't know what the thing is with the flat pieces on it.
Oh, I thought they were both welded.
No.
You sure act like they're ready, Kevin.
But I want that one.
This is the first one I picked out.
Okay, we want that one. I want it because you like it. And then the next one that'll come out is, I think there's one underneath the white thing. There's one underneath the white piece, I think.
There's a bunch of them under here. There's one right here too, for that matter, and one right here. I bet that was.
So we want joints with threads on the end because that's drill pipe. And then they're reasonably uniform.
Look at that. What's this plastic for?
That's a cap.
What's it capping?
The threads. It protects the threads.
So those are like brand new threads or whatever?
No, they screw them in to like protect the threads from rusting and keep mice and rabbits and stuff out of there.
That's so smart.
All right, fam, we went out here to the pipe pile, which is kind of a menagerie. And we're gonna start fishing some joints of pipe out of there, some drill pipe, so we can keep going on our stuff, but it's kind of a 2-person job. So we got me and Megan out here. Greg's running around tracking down more wheel stands because we need to put at least another 2 sections in. I think we'll end up having to put probably 4 sections in total on top of what we've already put in, the 3 sections, to get them all up and give us a little bit of capacity. So what we're doing now is I'm turning around. I got the J-hook mounted to the backboard of the loader here, and we got a choker chain on the pipe, and we'll start dragging the pieces of pipe out of the pile, because I can't dig and fish them out with loader because it's just too disorganized, the pile is. So we're gonna drag them out and then deal with them once they're drug out. So here we go. So everything's gonna be shifting, so watch for pipes moving around.
Where should I go?
Just be aware. Okay, we'll unhook that one, we'll grab another one. All right, guys, we're back. We went out, we gathered that stuff out of the pile like you saw. Now we're ready to, I think we're gonna swing a couple in place because we're still waiting on some more wheel stands that Greg's out getting. So, I think we're just gonna swing a couple into the ballpark just so we can kind of get a feel for how the length is gonna be, because these are 30-foot long. The other ones I think were close to 20. So we're gonna swing these. Here we go. Greg Oreo Cookie just showed up with stands and his helmet.
This keeps the sand out of my ears.
The helmet keeps the sand out of his ears. He's special. Well, guys, we got the rear end set on the stands. As you can see, it's a bunch of them. It's been quite a bit of work trying to beat the weather. And so we've gotten all these set up on the stands. It was something we had kicking over here, and this whole area, we had to clear this whole area out because it had
core motors and some trailers and some of my personal stuff stacked in here, and then just stuff that needed to go away, that sort of deal. As you can see, like on this, and it was a bunch of stuff we got at an estate that we purchased. We got Chevy truck rear ends, we got some Ford 9-inches, there's a disc brake 9-inch out of like a Lincoln, probably full-size Lincoln. This one's going to be a disc brake rear end out of a Lincoln, or a drum brake rear end out of a Lincoln, full-size, about the same width, same mounting points, coil spring. These are probably Ford truck. This is a Ford truck 9-inch. This is going to be some sort of Ford car 9-inch because it's narrower. So we'll have to go through, identify these. So this is going to be an 8-inch rear end right here. You can see the difference. It's more oval shaped. It's not as round and not as big as a 9-inch is. There's some subtle differences. Not all of them have plugs. It's actually pretty rare to have a plug in it. So you can't use that either. This has been modified. All the perches have been cut off of it for something. Another 9-inch. It's got most of the perches cut off. This was probably a full-size Ford car with coil springs that somebody's converted to leaf springs. Some little Toyota rear end, more 9-inches, Chevy truck front ends, rear ends. That one's like a Ford, looks like an 8.8. There's just a bunch of this stuff. That's going to be a Dana 60, probably out of a Dodge, I think, something like that. It is. Out of a 93 Dodge pickup, it's Dana 60. This is a B-body Mopar 8 3/4 rear end, and they're kind of like a 9-inch but different. They have a removable center section, but they're really good for Dodges, and they work really well. This is going to be a 10-bolt out of a 69 Nova. There's just a ton of rear ends. And then we got all these left to set on stands. More Chevy truck front ends, half-ton stuff. Tons of that kind of stuff around here. Got about 1 million half-ton rear ends, or front ends, rear ends, that sort of stuff. All this stuff come from another estate I bought, and the guy did a lot of square body stuff. This rear end right here is out of like a early Chevy pickup, like with the truck arm rear suspension in it. And this one's a 6-lug. This one probably come out of my 69 to 72 Chevy pickup that we ended up going to 5-lug.
So now Megan, she's got to do the build the stands because that's her job. She's learning to weld, and that's a good practice. I think we'll have Elliot do a little work on it too as well, because he wants to learn how to weld. And you guys haven't met Elliot yet, but he's a good dude. Known him for a couple years now. He's back and helping out around the shop with us, so I think we'll get him in some videos. He's a lot of fun. We're gonna get some stands built, and then we'll be setting some more rear ends, see if we can't get this last section done. Maybe 2 sections, so we have some room to set stuff over the winter time. The next order of business out here is going through all these rear ends. The ones that are stock numbered, we need to make sure that the stock numbers are written on them properly, that withstands weather, and you can see them now that we've got them set on racks. And then from there, we got to make sure they're inventoried. We got to build locations, because when you overlook this whole area here, and let me give you a little bit of a wider shot of it.
There is hundreds of rear ends and front ends and stuff here, or axles, or whatever you want to call them. There's hundreds in each row, I would say. I would guess there's more than 100 in each row. And so we're going to have to build locations, and the natural way of doing stuff is basically the same way they divided the United States up, and that's by natural, barriers and changes, stuff that you could identify. So like each time there's a walkway, and they don't line up perfectly well. You can see it doesn't go straight through here. It actually dog legs over to there.
But each natural pathway or break-in, that's why we spaced them out, is so you could get between them. But every natural pathway, we're going to make a different location, so each rack is separated. Like our locations work like this. You have we have the rows of cars. That row is 3. because we took out rows 1 and 2 to build this area right here and put the house in. But we got row 3 and it's on the A side. So we're probably gonna end up doing something like that. So like the first row over here, like the one closest to the house, will be row 1. And then we'll probably have A as the first section, B is the second section, C is the third section, D is the fourth section, that sort of deal. The only caveat to that, and it's the only thing that kind of bothers my OCD, is that some of these have more sections than others. So some rows might have A, B, C, and D. Other rows might have A, B, and C. But either way, I mean, as long as we can find it, it doesn't really matter what we call the locations. That's just my OCD kicking in. But it's been a lot of work to get this far. It's done really well. We got our roads put back in. This doesn't look like a road behind me. I mean, it kind of does. But this road is an important road. It means we can get to either side of it with the forklift or the crane or the loader to get these rear ends out of here when we need to get them ready to ship, sell, you know, whatever. The other important part of this road is it lines up with the door on the warehouse. So if we had to take something long in here or do something like that, we have a little bit extra, and we got almost 50 feet between the warehouse and the start of these rear end axle racks or rear end racks or whatever you want to call them. So it is working out really well. It's been a long project. We've been scrambling. We haven't done a lot of videoing, but now we got to get some tires de-rimmed. We have a big pile of wheels and tires back in the back corner of the yard, like clear back there, where, you know, just we gather them up when they're loose in the yard, that sort of deal, and put them in the pile because we use rims for a lot of stuff. Aluminum rims, we take them all off because we sell scrap aluminum. But the steel ones, you know, we have derby stuff. You know, we use them for derby stuff. We use them for building rim fence sections. We use them for building wheel stands. Wheel stands have been the big one lately because we use a lot of them. And then this project has taken a lot of wheel stands that we weren't really accounting for. But, you know, it works out. So we're gonna get on de-rimming some wheels. Yeah, Elliot's always on me about the whole wheel and a tire, or rim and a tire make a wheel. And so I've been trying to police myself with this, and I've been doing a lot better at it. But basically, we got to de-rim some wheels, and the tires will go over to the spot where we stack tires in cars, crush cars, and that sort of deal. The rims, we got to sort through whether they're going to be derby ones or not. And then, you know, the ones that aren't, we're going to go to wheel stands. And that's the next project. But the welding the wheel stands and that sort of stuff, de-rimming tires, that's going to be on the next video. It'll be next part of the project. I think this video's gone on long enough. But it's been really good. So we'll see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.